Agent Romanov. You miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Film RT. I'm your guy Trevor Baker, and we've got episode 1 of the new What If series, and we're going to be breaking that down and reviewing it today. So if you haven't seen it, hop on off, save this video for later. Don't you not come back. And the reason we're so excited about this is because this show became much more anticipated due to the fact that Loki revealed that there's going to be multiverses and all these things. We're kind of like, is this going to be canon at some point? I definitely think it's a possibility, and that's why it's worth breaking down each episode. So let's get started
And ponder the question. What if?
Now this series started off with Peggy Carter becoming Captain Carter, which was kind of the main vein of storyline that we were seeing in the trailers. I anticipated this and I'm excited to see it, and I didn't know how much I would actually enjoy seeing Peggy Carter become Captain Carter. What's really fun about this is it does kind of bring this nice justice to a character that I felt like was really strong and we don't get a ton of in the MCU. I know she got her own show, but it's really cool to see what would have been like if she got superpowers. Marvel What If starts off with a really cool intro showing the breaking dimensions. The episode kicks off with us back in 1943, where Steve Rogers was going to get the super serum. The premise seems like, or this is probably how every episode will start out, is the Watcher explains what was different, whether it was significant or pretty menial, that changed the course of time. In this situation, the difference between Steve Rogers becoming Captain America and Peggy Carter becoming Captain Carter is one little thing, and that's her staying in the room. With her staying in the room, that Hydra agent who blew up the whole super serum area actually injures Steve Rogers, making Peggy Carter take a risky decision and hopping into the super soldier machine herself, and Howard Stark turning it on, making her Captain Carter. Obviously this is not well received by the general because it's a woman, which in that time women were still really oppressed and put down, and there's glass ceilings, and so for her to be the super soldier with all the millions of dollars of the project was pretty disappointing. Even with Steve Rogers getting shot, he does not die, and you see the relationship between Peggy Carter and him start to develop. This is what I really liked, is that love between them is real, and it didn't matter in what shape or size and situation it came in, it was still going to happen. I just like seeing that stuff. Call me a romantic, I just like seeing it. Obviously with the reality that the general doesn't really want a woman leading the charge, being the face as the super soldier, Peggy is put on the sidelines, very similar to Steve was, although she does not get put on the costume tour because I guess she, as Captain Britain, Captain Carter, would not be selling American bonds. So it was kind of a funny little exchange between her and Steve. Eventually enough is enough, and Howard Stark actually provides Peggy with the Captain Carter suit to take on some Hydra soldiers, and we have this awesome sequence where Peggy starts to really discover what her powers can do. She takes on all these soldiers, she's tossing cars. It's that scene where you see her jump down from the building and slam her shield into the ground, and it's just a really fun time, and you just find Peggy endearing. She's just as good-hearted as Steve is, and I think that's something that I just liked seeing. Once again, this fleshing out of a character that I've enjoyed but didn't really get more of. There's also a really funny moment here where this big hulky German soldier comes out like, oh, they sent a little Fräulein to attack us, and I just was like, why would you? Didn't you just see her literally throw cars and a shield and beat everyone up? I wouldn't come out there with such confidence. Obviously, he gets dispatched pretty quickly, and Peggy saves the day. Then there's a moment that got me real pumped. As a result of Peggy's efforts in getting rid of all these soldiers, they apprehend the Tesseract, and Howard Stark uses the Tesseract to create a Hydra Stomper, aka the Mark I of the Iron Man armor. And who better to man the Hydra Stomper armor is Steve Rogers. And I was like, that is awesome. Steve Rogers is freaking Iron Man in this episode. Hydra Stomper Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter team up to take down the German regime in World War II. And I just was like, this could be a movie. This right here could be a movie. I would watch this in real life, because my only complaint really about this show was the pacing is just very fast. And I get it, they're basically assuming you know the storyline and you're seeing the nuances. I could have had more of that. I could have had a lot more of Hydra, Stomper, Steve Rogers, and Captain Carter. That is pretty cool.
Before we continue our video, I just want to let you guys know that we have a really cool Instagram that updates on a regular basis. So if you like all things Marvel, this is the Instagram for you. So go follow that LMRT Instagram right now. You won't regret it. I promise you. Seriously, open Instagram right now and click that follow button. Now back to the video.
They have the sequence of when they're taking down German places, very similar to the first Captain America movie. And then there's the train situation. There's some big deviations from what happened in the MCU. First things first, we have Bucky Barnes. He doesn't fall off. They even make a humorous joke about his arm always getting ripped off because Peggy Carter saves him from falling. But in the train situation, the whole train gets blown up and Steve Rogers is apprehended by the Hydra army. Now, they did make us think that maybe Steve had passed away, but that wasn't the case. Big spoiler, I know, but he didn't pass away, and that's important for what happens here. The Red Skull gets hold of the Tesseract once again, and his new plan to open a dimension and release a being out onto the Earth to either help win the war or at the very least destroy the world. So, you know, high aspirations. And the implications I thought of the Red Skull not having the Tesseract the whole time was maybe that he would get teleported into space and we would have him as a more formidable foe throughout the MCU. I was like, oh, that would be really cool. And then the minute he opens the dimension, Shuma Gorath comes out and kills him. So I don't think we're getting Red Skull ever. I like Red Skull, so I was a little disappointed by that. But hey, we get to see Shuma Gorath in the MCU. Think that's pretty cool. It's like a lot of tentacle monsters. We got big starfish from Suicide Squad, and now we got Shuma Gorath. So tentacles, if you're into that. I'm sorry I said that out loud. Well, in this situation, they are finding Shuma Gorath, and he is continuing to grow out of the dimension. They're realizing if they don't push him back in, he could consume and overtake Earth. Peggy, in a heroic manner, sacrifices herself by taking her shield and shoving Shuma all the way back into the Tesseract dimensional portal, but in doing so, shoves herself as well. The Tesseract closes, and the similar exchange that Steve and Peggy had, where Steve said he was going to give Peggy one last dance, or the situation kind of flip-flops, like straight up Star Trek style, where it was Kirk and Spock, then it was Spock and Kirk. Similar here, instead of Steve going to the ice, it was Peggy going into the interdimension, and Steve looking at her longingly, wishing they could have spent that life together. At the very end of the episode, you do get Captain Carter coming back out of the Tesseract portal, which seems like the Loki situation from Avengers 1, but no Loki, and she meets Nick Fury and Hawkeye, and she's told that she's been gone for 70 years and the war was won. And you can tell that that's really going to affect her just as much as it did Steve. And that was the episode. So I'm not sure if there'll be any continuation of that. I have a feeling that we're going to get a couple standalone episodes, and towards the end of this series, they're going to come somewhat together. If I had to criticize this at all, it just was paced awkwardly. It just felt fast, and I wanted to slow down because I did enjoy seeing Peggy and Steve team up in such a unique way. Outside of that, it was pretty interesting. The animation is gorgeous, and I look forward to seeing the next episode. So I'm excited about this series. Have you watched the new What If episode? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you all in for Captain Carter and the Hydra, Stomper, Steve Rogers, Iron Man? I know I am. And what do you think the next episode of What If is going to be? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video and you want to see more, you want to subscribe and turn on that bell and get notifications so you can see this content, because we're releasing it on the daily. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you later.